well, a couple of days ago anyway, with the Steyr SM12, and I managed to get some where are they? Some ultra high. Well, I had them on from another rifle, but they're quick release worn rings, which I don't need quick release on this rifle. If they weren't quick release, I'd probably keep it on the rifle, keep these rings on the rifle, but no, they're quick release, and they're pretty pointless having quick release rings on a rifle that hasn't got any iron sights. Yeah, pointless. But I had the Woltis 6-24, Old Faithful, still hasn't given up the ghost. $160 Chinese scope, and yeah, what value? Even if it is, even if the glass is not spectacular. Yeah, again, I actually haven't had a look to see if they're selling them again, because after I bought this thing, realised just what a great value it was. I went to buy another one, and they were no longer available. Or they said, they weren't. I can't remember what they said on the site. They weren't selling them. Sweating like the proverbial. Again, it's not that hot, but it's still really humid, and yeah, another month or so. The nights are cooling down. Not like last night. I did actually have cover on a bit, which is nice to see. It's a lot easier to sleep at night. When the nights are cooler. But anyway, so yeah, it is really hot. So because it's hot, I'm having a beer again. I'm having a bintang, which is what does it say about it? It's made in Indonesia. If you've been to Bali, this is what you drank. It's essentially a clone of because it's got the red star, so that gives it away. It's a clone of Heineken. I think I'm not sure what the license agreement is, but it's essentially Heineken. It's actually better, because here in Australia, I don't know who brews it, but there's an Australian Heineken, and this shits on it, like, really. Let's have a taste. Yeah, that's better than the Australian Heineken. So I actually prefer Bintang over the Australian brewed version, pardon me. Went down the wrong way. So I got these ultra high rings. I put the 6-24 Woltis on it, and so I was able to do a proper accuracy test of the SM12 with the rounds that I had left. Previously, let's have a look. Previously I shot off some 115 grain Steyr Match Kings, which were promising. Like, there's that group there is, what was it? But I had a heap left of those, so that group there is like 0.8, 3 rounds, and the 120 grainers, you know, they weren't too bad. 140 grainers, they were pretty good too. This rifle seems very tolerant, unlike my other two 270s. The Steyr Pro Hunter. Was that in 270? Yeah, it was. So I've had 3 other 270s. I've still got the other one, which is the other Austrian rifle, the Voer, the Förder. Yeah. But the Weatherby Vanguard in 270 and the Steyr Pro Hunter in 270, they were not very tolerant, and also the Förder, they are not very tolerant of lighter and heavier projectiles. It's all 130 grains. They just like 130 grains. Whether that's, you know, twist rate or a combination of things, I don't know, but they weren't very tolerant. This rifle is very tolerant. I don't know what the twist rate is. Does it say here? Yeah, I couldn't tell you. But, so what I did was I still had a heap of the Sierra, the 115 grain Steyr Match Kings left. I'm not going to use Steyr Match Kings to hunt with because they're not hunting rounds. But anyway, so I 115 grain Steyr Match Kings, 45.5 grains of AA2208 Varget. I've got a group of, there's 2 rounds that are literally almost through the same hole, 0.15, and then there's a third that stretched it out to 0.94 of an inch, which is still pretty good. Then the other group of 44.5 grains was 1.2, still not too bad. Then 46.5 grains, I've got 0.67, 3 rounds. The other group, 46.5 grains, 0.94. And then I had 6 rounds left, and I thought I'm just gonna shoot them off. And so I got 6 rounds of 47.5 grains, 0.9, which is pretty good. That's yeah, quite surprising. So 115 grain, yeah, it has no problem shooting them accurately. Then the 120 grain SSTs, 45 grains of 2208 Varget, 0.9, 46 grains, 0.7, 46 grains again, and I've got a really big spread on it. I'm not sure why that is, at 1.9. I will say that this thing never cooled down. 270 is such a caliber that when you combine the diameter of the projectile and the speed that it's traveling at, these things heat up really quick. 270s heat up really quick and they stay hot. And this thing really, you know what, if I'd let it cool down between every group, God, I'd be there for a week, I reckon. It just did not want to cool down at all. So I'd bugger it, I'll just keep shooting. And I did. So you have to take that into account. All of these shots, all of these groups are with hot barrel, or smoking hot barrel where I couldn't even touch it. No joke. No, I'm not exaggerating. So the 130 grain SSTs, and I was expecting 130 to be sort of optimum weight. 130 grain SSTs, 0.63 with 43 grains of AR2208. 0.87 with 43 grains. With 44 grains, I got 1.3, a sideways spread. I'm not sure what happened there. 44 grains again, I only had 2 rounds there. Oh, was it 3? That does look like 3 rounds. At 0.26. Wow, that's amazing. 45 grains, 0.9. 45 grains again, 1.2. And then in the last group, I had 5 rounds left and 0.97. So not bad. Then I shot the what's called the Steyr Mannlicher 130 grain round nose soft points, which are really cheap, but seem to perform really well. So the first group was spread vertically at 1.5 inches, which I thought, yeah, that's not typical. And then the second group, it lobbed 2 literally almost in the same hole, and those 2 are at like 0.13, and then the third, it threw the group out to 1 inch. Now the next group is 0.43. Yeah. So how this El Cheapo Steyr Mannlicher ammo just never ceases to amaze me. 0.43. This is at 100 meters, so 110 yards, everything. There are 2 rounds that are almost through 1 hole. So, but with the third round, 0.43, and then it has a tendency to put 2 rounds almost in the same hole and then throws one. But that also happened with my other 270s. So I don't know what it is. Then the last group I shot, it was 0.17, 2 rounds, and then the third it threw it out. It threw it out to 1.1 inches. Now, as far as hunting rifles go, I really don't think that anyone can say anything bad about that. I dropped something, sorry. I was reaching for the towel. I'll just go get it. I was reaching for the towel because I'm just sweating like you would not believe. Man, it is so humid. It's unbelievable. I don't know why it's so humid because it's not that hot. I need another beer, another drink. Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah, so accuracy wise, so you can see chamber flag, nothing in the chamber. Accuracy wise, it's excellent. So I was rummaging around in my, because I am a shit hoarder, in my box of goodies, or one of the boxes of goodies, and I did find some cheap Chinese aluminium. I think they're ultra highs, 1-inch rings, just cheap alloy ones. So I've put them on, which I'm not going to keep them on. I'll see if I can get a DNZ one-piece unit high. You don't need ultra high because that really does clear it by a fair bit. Although I might get ultra highs. People say, oh, you should have the scope as low to the bore as possible. It doesn't matter to me. Okay, it really doesn't. Oh, you should have a proper cheek weld. I try to put it. This is the way that I look at it. The more physical input you put into the rifle when you're shooting, the less accurate you're going to be, because you got your heartbeat and your breathing, and if you're jittery or you got Parkinson's, or I'm sorry, that's not joking, but so it doesn't really matter to me if I've got my head hanging off the cheek piece. It doesn't bother me at all. So I don't know. I'll have to toss up whether to get ultra highs or highs if I can get them. I think I had a set of DNZs on the Steyr Pro Hunter, if I remember rightly, and I should have kept that. I didn't think I was going to get another Steyr. There you go. Proved me wrong there. So anyway, this is the scope that I will have on it. It's the Leupold VX Freedom. Leupold make great scopes. And then I will take it to the range and test it out again. The other rifle that I will take to the range, which I haven't got here, is the what's it called, the Martini Enfield, the 303 Martini Enfield. Because what happened was that I was at the gun shop and I went and bought some projectiles for it, and unbeknownst to me, they do make 125 grain Sierra Pro Hunters for 303, I think 311 diameter. So I accidentally grabbed them. I think they might have been in the wrong spot. So I've made up a heap, different weight charges, and I'm going to just test them out just to see how they perform through that rifle. That's the only one I'll take. Like, I've got two Martini Enfields, a full wood military one, and my favourite one, which is sort of cut down, sporterised with an SMLE barrel on it. That's the one I'll take, because that full wood military one, I might test them through that after I test it through the SMLE barreled one. Anyway, what can I say? Yeah, bolt, super smooth, beautiful. Magazine, excellent. It's really easy to load. Everything's really good about it, except for the fact that it is plastic. Well, I think the follower is metal. No, it's all plastic, but it is a good magazine. Yeah, what can I say? Pretty much everyone that saw it had a little bit of a peek at it and was like, that's very nice. Because it's a beautiful rifle, it really is. And it's an accurate rifle, and one of the great things, like I said before, it's very tolerant of different weight projectiles. So to go from 115 grains to 140 grains and achieve, you know, good results is outstanding. So definitely a keeper. I'm not going to get rid of the Steyr. I still love that rifle, and I love, one of the reasons I love it is because it has got iron sights. I'd love to get iron sights put on this, but maybe not. That's good. Bintang good. Yeah, I can't remember what good is in Indonesian, Bahasa. Now, I just wanted to mention something. The Australian shooter, okay? So, it's the official publication of the Sporting Shooters Association of Australia. As a member of the SSAA, you get this monthly for free. It's a part of the membership. Now, one of the things, you know what, I used to buy a lot of gun magazines. I don't anymore, because they're pretty much all just propaganda and advertising. You know, not all of it, but so much of it is. And here's an example. Alright, so this is an article on the well, it's Leica, actually, I should pronounce it properly. Leica Virgin. German giant offers new entry-level scope, which impressed Con Capralos, who did the article. So, Leica. Now, if you know anything about Leica, they are not cheap. Alright? They are bloody expensive. Anything that Leica make. So this is what makes me laugh. German giant offers new entry-level scope. So it's a 2.5 to 15 by 56. Alright? 2.5 to 50. So it's a hunting scope. Alright? No one's going to shoot out 1,000 metres with a 15 power. Alright? Or even 600 metres. Well, you can, if your eyes are good enough. But what makes me laugh is that entry level. What do you consider to be an entry level price for a scope? Regardless of who makes it. Regardless of where it's made. Let me know in the comments what your idea of entry level is. Because, yes, it's entry level. It's recommended retail price of $2,590 Australian. $2,590 Australian is what this guy reckons is entry level. You know what? For that money, I can get a 5 to 50 Delta tactical scope, and this is my other Delta, which is an older one. Fantastic scope. This is the it's 4.5 to 30, right, by 50. Okay. So they reckon that this guy reckons that $2,600 is entry level. Let me know if you think that's accurate. That $2.5 grand is entry level for a scope. This is entry level. Okay, these are like $500, or maybe a little bit more now. The VX Freedoms, Leopold VX Freedoms. Leopold I've got a lot of very expensive scopes, but this is their entry level hunting scope. This is entry level. Don't write an article about something that you reckon is entry level that costs $2,600. You know, yeah, all right. It's Leica. It's no doubt about it. If it's made in Germany, it should be very good. One other thing I want to mention is that people are under the impression that any scope that is made in Germany, or well, pretty much predominantly Germany, is using German glass. That is not necessarily the case. I can tell you right now. I know I've been told by an industry insider, I was told this, that some of the scopes, obviously the lower end of the ranges, offered by some very well-renowned companies, use Japanese glass, because there's nothing wrong with Japanese glass. All right. The thing about glass is that anyone can buy a lens grinding machine and grind lenses, but it's a very expensive and tedious process. And the thing is, so anyone can buy a lens grinding machine, but the thing that determines really the quality of the glass is the imperfections in the glass, or lack thereof. Because what they do is, when they make the glass, they will go through and grade it. Alright? So the ultra high top quality glass with zero imperfections, zero impurities will be at the top. Alright? So when you hear the word shot glass, that's a company, Schott, S-C-H-O-T-T, in Germany, who make glass. And if they can make crap glass, if they don't use the best quality glass, I mean, it doesn't matter what name's on it. Right? If you don't use the best quality, glass with the fewest imperfections and the fewest crap in it, who cares what it's called? So that's one thing about glass. That is really where the issue of how good the glass is actually the actual physical attributes of the raw ingredient, which is the glass. And actually here in Australia we've got a silica mine, well, it's beach, that produces some of the best glass up here in Queensland. So, but anyway, getting back to this, $2.5 grand is not entry level. I'm sorry. Con Capralos, $2.5 grand is not entry level. I don't like insulting people, but you're full of shit. Just stop doing that. No. When someone goes out there and says, I can only afford an entry level scope, they're not going to be looking to pay $2.5 grand. They're going to be looking to buy one of these. All right, that's realistic. So anyway, that's a bit of a rant. What else can I say? Not much. The old Woltis. This again. People say, Chinese scopes, and I say it too. I'm not going to pay that for a Chinese scope, and I would not pay a lot for a Chinese scope. But there are actually a few brands out there that are Chinese, made in China, but with, an Australian company. I won't say the name of it, and they want ridiculous amounts of money for their scopes, and I doubt if they'd be any better than this thing. And this thing is $160 delivered to my door. I think there's a lot of people taking advantage of just, I don't know, whatever, to make money. Because there's a lot of scope companies appearing out of nowhere, especially in when I watch some of the videos from the US, there's all these brands that I've never heard of. And almost all of the time they're made in China or Philippines. If I can, I will buy Japanese made. Alright, I won't buy European made because they just want crazy prices. I won't buy American made because unless it's a hunting scope like this. As far as like this sort of biz, tactical high magnification scopes, I won't buy European. I won't buy American. Preferably I'll buy Japanese, and this is a Japanese scope, the Delta. So it's a Polish company. They get their scopes made in Japan. I think that's really the best compromise. Just like cars, I prefer to buy Japanese cars. They're not the cheapest, but they're not the most expensive. They're not European cars. Yeah. So, another bit of a rant. I'm talking shit. Sorry, I'm talking garbage. Just disregard what I have to say. But so what I'll do is I'll take this to the range with the setup that is here, and then I'll sight it in and have it ready to go for a hunt. Hopefully I'll be able to hunt. It's probably working. And I'll also take the Martini Enfield and test out those 125 grain, 125 grain Sierra Pro Hunters. Just see how they go through it. I don't know, they might go shit. It might just be a hose with them, or they might prove pretty accurate. Who knows? We'll wait and see. Anyway, until then, see you later.